Yeah, it's cheap here with more of the deed. I just found out that I can use the arrows to move. But I feel like clicking does me better. Alright, let's check out your place. It is a time for sitting around. Hey George, what up? Oh, hello sir, what can I do for you? You seem quite distressed about something. I do? Well, I'm sure it's nothing you should trouble yourself with, sir. His concerns are my concerns. Come now, George. We've known each other many years. If something is troubling you, I want to hear about it. If you insist, sir. Ever since the new maid arrived, I feel like I'm being nudged towards early retirement. No! She's obviously being trained to become the new housekeeper. She is taking over my responsibilities one by one. I have tried discussing the matter over... blech. I am the champion of that sentence. I've tried discussing the matter with your mother, but it's no use. She hasn't been herself lately either. But please, don't trouble yourself about it, sir. I probably shouldn't have said anything at all. So, this new maid is something of a bully then? That isn't what he said. What's wrong with my mother? No, you shouldn't have. I won't trouble myself. What's wrong with Mom? What way is my mother not herself? Ever since your sister's condition has become worse, your mother has become rather cold and withdrawn. Sister has gone through difficult spells before, but has never affected your mother quite like this. There's darkness that I've never seen in her before. I should say no more. Please excuse me, sir. Alright, he's not leaving the room. What's in this room? Broken mirror sits on the maid's desk. Odds are that it belongs to your sister and the maid has been hiding it in here after accidentally breaking it. Let's take the broken glass. I want the broken glass. Take the sharpest piece of broken glass and hide it on your person for later. Because if it's part of the sister's mirror, then it'll look like she did it. That's what I'm going to go for. I know I haven't been in the sister's room or the kitchen, but... take one of the poems. Yeah. Love Lord and porn. I read that wrong 3 times and almost said it wrong. You can find and hide on your person. Oh no, I wanted to make it look like the sister killed herself. Dinner is served. Sophia, could you come here a moment? Yes, ma'am. Pour me some more wine. Yes, ma'am. But madam! Oh, what is it, George? Must protest, it has always been my duty to pour the wine at dinner. Oh, well, I don't want to cause any trouble. Nonsense, what does it matter, George? Stop being overly pedantic. But I... Just let him pour the damn wine, would you? It's his job. Stay out of it, boy. Your mother wants the girl to pour the damn wine, and the girl will pour the damn wine. Of course, sir. My apologies. We tried. Interesting little rat, isn't he, Daddy? Oh, I don't like you. Yes, he is. Why can't you ever keep your mouth shut, boy? Perhaps I did speak out of turn. I apologize. Now, don't lose your temper, father. Maybe you're the one who needs to shut his mouth. Let's apologize. We'll throw him off. Right, I'm sorry. I must have had too much wine myself. Better not let that happen again. Sophia, could you come here, please? Yes, Miss Jennifer. I just wanted to say that was the loveliest meal I've ever had. I don't know how you do it, you cunning pixie. You're too kind, miss. Of course, I will have tea and cakes for you in the drawing room as usual after dinner. Oh, you were so good to me, you sweet thing. So very, very good to me. None for me, I'm full. I wouldn't mind some of your hotcakes, hotcakes. We're not going with that one. You two stop flirting with each other. Sophia isn't interested in your advances, sister. I don't have any thank you, I couldn't eat another bite. Well, you weren't offered any, so there. Please, Jennifer, let's all try and be civil. Anyway, let's not forget why we are here today, to celebrate your father's birthday, such a very important occasion for us all. You're so dear to us, Malcolm. Happy birthday, Daddy. Indeed, happy birthday, Father. This hope will be one to remember. Doing the deed. Plan any items of evidence you have. To do so, simply enter the desired room. Select the item in your inventory. When you are ready, enter the drawing room to do the deed. Alright. She's in there. I don't know whose room is whose. Okay, we're probably gonna have a few goes at this to get it right. Oh, where am I supposed to put this? Oh, do I have to put it in the maid's room? He's in the way, though. That's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Come hither, thou sweet and flame-haired maiden. Let us play the games which have been forbidden in dusty old rooms of this home in which I live in. Come hither to me and do my sweet bidding. You lost at the end, honey. Yes. So how do you conceal this item underneath the maid's pillow? That ought to be quite incriminating. Let's go through this door. Yes. Jennifer staring out the window ahead of you, lost in one of her strange moods. She hasn't noticed you enter the drawing room. Now is the time. Broken glass. Sister cries out in surprise as you grab her from behind. You quickly muffle those cries with one hand before pressing the shard of broken glass against her throat. She struggles valiantly as you cut her throat open, but you manage to hold her in place until finally she goes limp. You drop her lifeless body to the ground, along with the broken glass. It's time to leave the room before your deed is discovered. Oh, shit, get out of the room. Damn it, she's going to see me. Do you hear that, Mr. Aaron? Am I covered in blood? Did I get caught? I totally got caught. Good evening, everyone. I am Chief Inspector Winston Lewis. You have 2 first names. I understand this is a difficult time for your family. Damn right it is. I want to know what you're doing wasting time in here while my daughter's killer is out there. Well, Mr. Bruce, we have found no evidence of forced entry, and nobody was seen entering or leaving the house. Seems entirely possible, then, that the killer is in this room. What? No! Seems highly unlikely, Inspector. Perhaps it is, however. In order to follow protocol, I have to interview each of you in turn. Miss Bruce, would you like to meet me in the library first? I suppose so. The interview. Thank you for joining me in here, Mr. Bruce. I'm sure this won't take long. Before we begin, I need to search your person. Best to get these formalities out of the way. Is this really necessary? I'm afraid so. Turn around, please. Now that that's out of the way, let's move on to the interview. I've already spoken with everyone else who was present at the house at the time of your sister's death. We've also now completed our initial search of the house, but we'll get to that later. Start from the beginning, shall we? First of all, we will run through all of your activities since your arrival. Maid says that you and the butler arrived shortly after 7 o'clock and she greeted you at the door. Told me that you refused to give her your coat. She found that quite peculiar. I wasn't sure how long I'd be staying. Thought I might have to leave soon. This weather, Mr. Bruce? That seems unlikely. Later on, you had a conversation with your mother, Gloria, in the parlor. She tells me that you were unusually cordial, something about wanting to apologize and make amends. I just want to avoid another argument. Wasn't being entirely honest with her, I just want to avoid an awkward evening. I see, that is understandable. Says you spoke briefly about your sister. Apparently you seem quite concerned about her well-being. We were worried my sister might attempt suicide. My mother and I were concerned that my sister might try to take her own life, as she has attempted once before. She had she? I will take a note of that. You went to see your father in the library. I understand your conversation became quite heated. Your father's always had temper. Of course it did. My father is an irritating man. Actually, I thought the conversation was civil. He's got temper. My father has a very short fuse. Many of our conversations go that way. Would you say he has a violent temper? Absolutely. See, that's good to know. You discussed the prospect of your moving back to Dunchill. Said you only move back if your sister was placed into psychiatric care. For her own well-being, of course. Had her own best interests at heart. She belongs in care. Might be right, Mr. Bruce. However, you seem to be the only one who felt that way. Let's discuss your conversation with the butler. Spoke about your mother's recent moods. Seems very worried about her. I think he was just overreacting. He was just afraid of his impending return. He was worried about her. Yes, my mother was having a very hard time dealing with my sister's condition, apparently. Sounded like she had been pushed to her breaking point. Interesting. I did not speak to my sister before dinner. Very well then. Let's move on to the events that took place during dinner. I understand there was an argument involving the butler. You felt like he was being treated unfairly. Family always treats the servants poorly. Just trying to stir things up, really. No, my family's shit to the servants. Someone has to stand up for the servants around here. My family treats them like dirt. Indeed, it was good of you to do so, Mr. Bruce. Now I need to ascertain your location at the time of your sister's death. Where were you when you heard the maid scream? We were on the ground floor. I guess we were technically in the West Wing? We weren't in the library. We weren't in the parlor or the storage room. I guess we were in the foyer. Oh, yes, the maid mentioned seeing you there. That puts you quite close to the murder, I'm afraid. They said earlier we have completed our initial search of the property. Found a poem written by your sister, which appears to clearly express romantic feelings towards the maid. Given that we found it in the maid's room, we can be sure that she had read it. Perhaps it is proof that the two of them were involved in a secret relationship. That would make her a suspect. I will certainly have more questions for her at least. I am curious about the murder weapon. The broken glass seems to have come from one of your sister's mirrors. We found the rest of it in the maid's room. We have established that you have been to the servants' quarters this evening. Uh-oh. However, we can't rule out suicide, especially given your sister's mental condition and her obsession with mirrors. It's all very interesting. I'll be completely honest with you now, Mr. Bruce. Uh-oh. Your behavior this evening is giving me cause for suspicion. Whereas there's some suspicion, blah blah blah. While there is some suspicion regarding your father, I don't currently regard him as a serious suspect. I think the evidence surrounding the maid might be worth another look. Despite any question marks about your mother, I don't think for a moment that she did this. Despite her condition, I don't believe your sister committed suicide. Now, as for what happens next, I'm going to ask you to accompany me to the station for further questioning. Am I under arrest? Not currently, Mr. Bruce, unless you want it that way. I think another interview with the maid will be required also. A verdict of suicide seems unlikely, I'm afraid. Oh, I think we're gonna get busted, guys. I don't want to get busted. You and Sophia were both taken in for questioning, and you did your best to convince them of your innocence and of the maid's guilt. However, the police soon discovered that you had an obvious motive to want your sister dead, and from that moment on, you were the prime suspect. Trial was a long and difficult one. Finally, the jury found you guilty of the crime. You were given a life sentence for the murder of your sister, and would spend the rest of your life sleeping behind bars. Dang it! Dank little cell, there was nothing to hide or escape from the nightmares when they came. The deed itself had taken possession of your soul, and perhaps that was her final revenge. Okay. So next time, we're gonna talk to everybody. It says load because I saved before recording. Okay, so yeah, we didn't pull that off quite well. We gotta do the conversations right too. It's gonna be tricky, guys, but eventually we're gonna get away with murder. I promise it. I hope. Probably. Alright, I'm Cheap, the game's the deed, and hopefully we'll do better next time. Bye!